All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Expert in the House. My name is Dan Doyle. I'm an ambassador for a company called ASEA. I'm going to talk to you tonight about a breakthrough technology. I'm going to talk to you about this company, ASEA, who is a cellular health company, and their breakthrough products. We have got something very, very special on our hands here, and there's several reasons why people will take a look at what we have in these products and this technology. And the first one is that you may have a health challenge yourself. You may know somebody, a loved one or a friend who has a health challenge. You may not like the way you're looking or feeling anymore as you're getting older, as you're aging. You may understand the concept of looking after yourself through exercise and nutrition. You may be an athlete, as I used to be, and the other thing is you may be looking for an opportunity. So I'm sure that one of those resonates with you, and there is something here for everybody. Before I go into the presentation and my story, I just want to go through the company's disclaimer that these products, in particular the products you can see on the screen, the ASEA, the Renew 28, and we do have an intensive serum with this incredible breakthrough technology in it, which is redox signaling molecules, which you're going to hear about for the majority of the presentation. You all will be redox signaling molecule experts by the time I finish this, by the way. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. What I'm going to talk about is technology of breakthrough that can potentially empower the body to heal itself. So we've got something pretty amazing. This statement I don't use lightly, that what we're going to talk about is nothing less than the single greatest health science, anti-aging and sports performance breakthrough of our lifetime. So welcome again, everybody. There are a lot of people on this call from around the world. We do have a particular big group up in Bundaberg in Queensland in one room. So hello, everybody. We'll do a Q&A at the end of this. For you guys on this call from around the world, you can use the chat box to ask questions. And for you guys in Bundaberg, I will bring you on live so I can see you guys and you can ask anything that you like also. So let's get moving. I'm going to go through my story first, which is a pretty impactful story. It's a journey from no health to health, and how I grew up here in Sydney and how fit and healthy I used to be back in the day and played a lot of sports. A lot of you would follow the rugby league here in Australia, which I did play for a long time. I did judo, gymnastics. I surfed here on the northern beaches of New South Wales. I did aerobics, and I also did this thing called bodybuilding. So this was me back in the early 90s. I was 24 years old, very competitive with this sport, obviously. You can see how serious I was. I used to eat, drink and breathe and sleep this sport, bodybuilding, and I had a gym back then, so I really needed to be a product of the product, and I needed to look good for when people came in, so I could, sell them what I wanted to within that shop. I spent years and years and years making sure that anything that I put in my body, I did the right thing, and I also looked after this vehicle for what we are. And I did put a lot of time in the gym even after these years, but I didn't do bodybuilding anymore. I did more cardiovascular work and health and fitness. So this next photo is a picture of me 20 years later when I was 44. Now, as I said, not a bodybuilder anymore, but I used to do a lot of cardiovascular work. I was the fittest and healthiest 44-year-old that I could be at this stage. And I had in mind that I'm heading to 50 years old, and I just wanted to be a very fit and healthy 50-year-old. Unfortunately, that was not the case, because in this photo, I didn't know at the time that I was in a lot of trouble with my health. And 6 months later, the doctors gave me some very, very bad news. So this photo was taken in December 2010. And this next photo with me on the right-hand side is me in May 2011. So basically, my second home here in Sydney was a hospital called the Royal North Shore for 2.5 years. You can see I've got no hair from the top of my head to my toes. And what they put me through in that hospital, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. It was the worst time of my life. My beautiful wife, God love her, put up with a lot back then. She stuck by my side. This is a photo of her and I on the latest cover on the ASEA Discover magazine. She was an absolute angel going through that period of time in our lives. At the end of this long journey in that hospital for 2.5 years with what they put me through, my doctors told me to get my affairs in order. I wasn't happy with that. I called my specialist a few choice words thinking I was going to be okay because they knew what they were doing and I was going to come out of this, on the right side of things, but that wasn't going to be the case. At this point in time, I made a decision to take the responsibility of my health back into my own hands. And it was a situation where I didn't believe in anything alternative or natural therapies. And I turned that right around from moving away from the doctors after thinking I was going to be okay to looking for an alternative solution. I did a lot of research and my research led to an alkaline diet. And I spent a lot of money on nutritional products from companies in the network marketing industry. So as a customer, I was looking for anything that was going to help. I spent a lot of money on mangosteen from Zango, Celgevity from Max Products, Isogenics Product B, Protandim from LifeVantage, Kangen Water. All these products are good products, all of them. And with my alkaline diet, my body should have been heading in the right direction. But this next photo is a photo of me spending a lot of money on these products and being very, very strict with my diet for 2 years. So what you're seeing in this photo is an indication of how everything was still working on the inside. The red and yellow rings in my eyes, the condition my skin was in. This is a reflection of how things were still going on the inside. This photo was taken in October 2014. This is when a friend of mine, Bart Cotter, called me and all he said to me was, I think I found something that can help. And that's all he said to me. And within a week, I'm on a plane going to a city that I'd never heard of, Salt Lake City in Utah, where this company, ASEA, had their headquarters. I did reach out to a friend of mine, Malcolm Sword. Mal Sword, he had been fighting a skin challenge, a serious one, for over 40 years, spent over $100,000. So I took Mal along for his health as well to see if we can find a solution for the issues that we had. So we got to Salt Lake City in Utah. We met Bart in the boardroom of this company called ASEA, ASEA. Now, they're a cellular health company. We're listening to this atomic and medical physicist talking to us about this breakthrough technology. And these bottles of ASEA were sitting on the table. Dr. Gary Samuelson is one of only a handful of atomic and medical physicists in the world. He was going through the science of what he had produced, what they had come up with. And all the science was going over my head. I'm not a scientist. But what I did understand is what was in these bottles sitting on the table was 100% non-toxic and it could have health benefits. And the other good thing is it was for free. So Mal and I, we were gorging it down. I'd gone through about half a bottle while I was sitting there. The presentation finished. We went back to our hotel room to have a shower, to get ready to meet Dr. Gary Samuelson for dinner and meet Tyler Norden and Vertus Norden, the founders and all the executives of ASEA. I took off my shirt to have a shower and to my surprise, I'm covered in all these little red spots all over my chest and my shoulders and my back, not realizing at that stage what I was trying to achieve here in 2 years on this alkaline diet and taking these products to expel everything that wasn't supposed to be in my body out of my body was happening in a short 3 hours. That was what I would consider to be my first win. And I was only on the product for a few hours. The next morning I got up and Bart gave me some more of this stuff, which I got into me. And I thought to myself, I'm going to test this product. Now, I've had a caffeine intolerance for over 20 years at that stage. Any more than 2 coffees, I'm buckled over all day with issues. Next morning, I decided to have 6 coffees. Why I picked the number 6, I don't know. But I got 6 coffees down. Very hard to do in America because the coffee doesn't taste great, but I did it. I went through that whole day and there was nothing to remind me of what I endured for a whole 20 years. Don't forget, any more than 2 coffees, I'm in a lot of trouble. I had 6, no problems, no memory of the problem because I didn't have an issue. So that was win number 2 the next day. Then we give it to about 48 to 72 hours later. We went to a theme park to have some fun. It was 4 years ago, last month. It was Halloween. There was Bart, there was Mal and myself. We thought we'd go and ride some roller coasters and get chased by zombies around this theme park in Salt Lake City. We went to this theme park, and all I remember saying to the guys over that 48-hour period was that I felt like Superman. Even though I was going through everything from lethargic, fatigue to euphoria, I just felt like Superman for some reason. So we get to this car park. There weren't too many cars. We were there early. I jump out of the car, threw my hands up in the air, and I said to the guys, I feel like Superman. And I started running across this car park. I must have run about 100 meters in about 12 seconds flat. I can run pretty quick. But unfortunately, I couldn't run at all and had trouble walking up hills or walking upstairs in my normal life 2 to 3 days earlier, because everything they did in that hospital caused me so much damage to my lungs. I used to have trouble breathing and talking at the same time. Well, that problem was gone within 48 to 72 hours. My lungs were functioning perfect. I came back to Australia. Do you think I kept drinking this stuff in the bottle? Well, even though I didn't quite understand what it was, I knew it was doing for my health. So yes, I did. We were actually getting it over from America. It wasn't approved here at that stage, but we were getting it across. And I was taking an amount that did help me, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to help me with my health challenges. So I was in a situation where I came from being a very successful businessman to losing everything when I lost my health. And then I could only afford to take one bottle of this stuff per week. I had some wins over an 8-month period. So don't forget, this photo is in October in 2014. And by June 2015, I was able to financially afford more product, and I took a lot more product and the product that I needed to help empower my body to head in the right direction. And by December 2015, so just over 12 months from this photo, I got some very, very good news. The doctors told me the two major issues, not one, but two major issues that I had in my body that were, my life was heading in the wrong direction. There was no sign of them anymore. And this is a photo of me on the day that I got that news. So totally different from what you can see in the previous photo to what you can see here. Now, not only I got that news, but by this stage, I had so many injuries from playing sports over all those years, and they were getting worse each year with my back, hips, pelvis, shoulder, hand, neck problem. I was literally falling apart. And all these problems were turning into another issue, which was a crippling issue. All these problems had gone, and my whole body had rebuilt itself in 2015. So if you fast forward another 2 years, which was the year before last, this is a photo of me, and you can see the difference in my skin and how I'm looking and how healthy I am. So I'm just going to go back and show you from these days to October 2014, December 2015, and then October in 2016. And then you can see how I'm looking now, which is a lot younger than what I'm looking in this photo again. So I'm just going to stop sharing this screen, and I'm going to let you know, I'm going to have a chat to you about what's happening in your body first before I start talking about these products and this incredible breakthrough. So just bear with me. I'll stop sharing screen. Everybody should have me up on the big screen now. Hello, everybody. If you can say hello if everything's looking normal in the chat box, that'll be fantastic. So let's talk about what's happening in your body without talking about the product. So this is literally what's happening right now as we speak. So I'm not going to go too much into the science, but I'm going to talk a little bit about what's happening in every single cell in your body. We're made up of 75 trillion cells or thereabouts. And in our cells, we have this power plant called the mitochondria. The mitochondria is responsible for producing the energy for our cells. As a byproduct of this energy production, there's a chemical reaction that takes place that changes the molecular structure of salt water within our body into these things called redox signaling molecules. Now, these molecules have got an enormous job to do within a split second. These molecules, once produced, do have a split second to detect a cell and then signal the immune system to come in to either protect it if it's a good cell, repair it if it needs repair, or destroy and replace if it's too far gone. These molecules are the signals and communication for the body to heal itself. So they're the signals and communication to all our body to come in, to deal with, to counteract what is going on. Very important role within the body. You have all heard of antioxidants and the importance of antioxidants within our bodies. We all eat berries and we all eat these good things to get antioxidants out of. Well, I can tell you that antioxidants are useless and do not work unless they're activated by these redox signaling molecules. You're producing millions every single second and you're losing or utilizing every millions every single second. So they detect, protect, repair, replace cells. They activate antioxidants. And they also are key in the regulation of our 12 major systems. Who on this call has a heart? We all have a heart. We all have a cardiovascular system, a digestive system, a skeletal system, an endocrine system, a pancreas system. We've all got these systems that need to work in harmony and balance. These molecules are responsible for actually regulating, for balancing all these systems. So if somebody has a sugar problem, it's a pancreas problem. So I think you're starting to get the gist of how big these molecules or what their role and function is within the body. You guys, you get sick, you get the flu, you get a virus, you get an infection. These molecules are responsible for detecting these issues. The bacteria, the virus, infection in our body. Without this detection, the body has no idea where to go or what to deal with. You may or may not have heard of oxidative stress. So an example of oxidative stress is the plaque that builds up in arteries that causes heart disease. And this can be a major problem for anybody. A lot of people have this problem. So to detect these issues, these molecules have to actually come across this issue to signal the body to deal with it. Genes are important. These molecules are responsible for turning on genes, turning off genes. They're reducing this oxidative stress down to DNA level, passing through the blood-brain barrier. They are responsible for everything. As a matter of fact, they're involved in every single chemical reaction going on in our bodies. They run our body top to bottom. So I'm sure you guys have either had children or that you've got grandchildren, or you may not have children at all. You may be smart like I am. But if you do have children, if you know what they are, they have a lot of energy, they run around all day, and they heal and they recover very fast. And the reason they do that is because they're producing an abundance of these redox signaling molecules. By the time you get to my age at 50, we only have 50% production left. By the time we get to 70, we only have 10% production left. So a 70-year-old is healing and recovering 10 times slower than what they did at the age of 10 years old. Let's just do a physical exercise while I've got everybody on this call. So you guys from around the world that are by yourselves on this call, watching me from your house, wherever you are, and you guys up in Bundaberg in that room, wherever you are, just clap your hands hard 3 times and tell me what you're feeling. Most of you people are saying, you're feeling tingling, you're feeling a little bit of pain. So just to let you know what you've just done, to explain how these molecules work in the body. So as you're clapping your hands, you're doing damage to about 1 billion cells. And those billion cells need to be repaired. So the tingling is these redox signaling molecules with a communication happening between your cells, signaling the immune system, the body to come in to repair the damage in your hands. And that's how these molecules work within your body. So the bad news is, as we get older, as we age, production declines. We lose 10% production every single year. The reason why anybody on this planet has any issue with their body, no matter what it is because those problems weren't detected in the first place. And the reason why they can't get on top of the issues they have is because they're not producing enough of these cell detecting molecules to signal the body to get on top of what they're going through. I hope that all makes sense. So that's all that's all the bad news, really. The good news, the great news is that this company, ASEA, has managed to, after 17 years, it didn't happen overnight, to change the molecular structure of salt water outside of the body into these stabilized, balanced redox signaling molecules. Science said it was impossible, but they got it into this this drink, these molecules which we can drink. What is in this bottle isn't salt water anymore. The ingredients on the back says it's salt water, but once they have changed the molecular structure through a 3.5-day electrochemical process, what we end up with is trillions and trillions and trillions of these stabilized, balanced redox signaling molecules, the exact same molecules that can signal your body to heal itself. This is 100% non-toxic. As a matter of fact, it's the only thing on the planet that we can consume that is 100% non-toxic. It's bioactive, which means it works as soon as it goes in because it's native to the body. It's exactly what our body is producing, no difference. So we've got an incredible breakthrough in these molecules that we can consume, the same molecules that are keeping our cells working at optimal level. A second breakthrough came a few years ago, 2014, when this company, ASEA, managed to suspend these molecules into a topical gel. This is Renew 28, which is an all-over body gel. So you can apply this to anything you don't like on the outside. People typically use it for wrinkles and for skin elasticity and all sorts of things. But if there's something that has happened to your skin, if there's something that is hurting on the outside, you apply that and just watch your space. You see what happens. I mean, I said to you at the beginning of this presentation that we can't make any claims. I always like to make one, as long as you can keep a secret, you don't tell anybody. And that is, I started using this gel 4 years ago. Before I started using it topically on my face, I used to be quite ugly. So that's the only claim I can make. Actually, no, there is one more claim I can make on all these products. My father was quite a big skeptic when it comes to using these products, and had multiple issues. And I said to him, I said, Dad, with short-term use of this product, long-term use, or sometimes even short-term use of this product, that it is definitely a cure for skepticism. And within 2 months, he was telling the world because of the improvements that he had with the issues that was going on inside his body. I'm just going to touch on, we do have a little skincare range. We do have a cleanser to prepare the skin for the molecules. We've also obviously got the Renew 28, which we apply to the skin. We also have this serum in the middle, which is also jam-packed with these molecules, just for fine lines, and a moisturizer to support the molecules. So an incredible skincare range. Just with this little range that I showed you here, there is no other products on the planet that can do what these do, because no other products have these redox signaling molecules. I'm just going to touch on the other half of the story. You see, for decades and decades and decades, every other company out there had and still only has one half of the story, and that is nutrition. So this is the material for our cells, the material for our body to rebuild, to put the nutrition to where it's needed, to make sure that everything's working correctly. Nutrition is very, very important. We only had one half of the story for nearly a decade, which was the redox signaling molecules, which is the labor that makes all this material work. So we need the labor, we need the signals and communication for the body to signal itself to where the problem is. These molecules cut to the chase, but we've also got an incredible micronutrient, whole food, phytonutrient, superfood, multi-level vitamin. Suggest you guys have a look at that. A lot of people use a multivitamin. I did use a multivitamin, not realizing the impact that the one I was using was having on me, because it was synthetic. 90% of multivitamins are man-made and synthetic. This is a whole food multivitamin. Every second ad on television here in Australia is all about probiotics. Fantastic, but nowhere near as good as if you have prebiotics in with the probiotics. There's only a handful of companies in the world that do have a combination of probiotics and prebiotics, and we're one of them. I suggest you have a look at that. And also a longevity product with our Life Max product, which is just jam-packed with all sorts of nutrition as well. I'm not going to go into detail. Have a look at what we got in these products. We've only got a product range or line of, there's only 8 things that we have at the moment. You know, the thing is we tap into three of the biggest industries in the world. So health and wellness, anti-aging and sports performance. And this little tiny range here can basically take a lot of that 4 trillion turnover. So, you know, we're in a very, very good place for a lot of reasons. ASEA as a company on the 30th of October this year has just gone over $100 million turnover. Their manufacturing plant is ready to turn over $1 billion in product now. They're ready for our global expansion. We have got business in 33 markets. We can do business in 33 markets. This started in the United States at the end of 2009, spread into Canada. We are now in Mexico, Colombia, Dominican Republic. We are in most of Europe and UK, and we are also here in Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Taiwan. So we can help people by sharing these incredible products. We can help people around the world. The thing is that if it wasn't for Bart Cotter reaching out for me, to me right when he did, and thank goodness I picked up the phone. I listened to him. He's a good friend. I trusted him. I was looking for something. I was desperate to find something for my health. If it wasn't for that phone call, if it wasn't for me picking it up, if it wasn't for me accepting it, I physically wouldn't be here. So thank goodness to the business model that ASEA is, which you may or may not be interested in, but you would not be hearing about this if it wasn't for the business model. I can tell you now that the pharmaceutical industry would have loved to have got their hands on this and bury this back in the early days, but Bertus Norden made sure that that didn't happen and left this as his legacy to humanity. So we've got this incredible business model where we can share this with people. If you're interested in the product and you're interested in it for your health, you've come to the right place. We can help you with a product plan that is going to maximize your benefits. So go back to the person who introduced you to this call and we can make those arrangements. They can actually open up a wholesale account with you. If you're interested in helping other people, then this is humanitarian. This is our purpose-filled mission because it has become a responsibility with what we know to get this to the world, and it's spread by word of mouth, a word of mouth business model called network marketing. This could not sit on a shelf in a retail store because people wouldn't understand that it's only made from salt and water, which it isn't anymore. It's literally trillions and trillions and trillions of these stabilized, balanced, redox signaling molecules. So if you want to get involved in the business side and help people, you can build a substantial, progressive, passive income, a passive income, a residual income. This is a business model that I used to run away from. I came from traditional business. If anybody came to me with products from this business model, I used to think they were crazy. I only believed in corporate that I came from, traditional business, but I can tell you now I would never go back to what I've done in the past, which is I built 20 traditional businesses from the ground up. I was involved in building and selling traditional businesses, but I've fallen into this business model, into this company called ASEA by default. And as a byproduct of that, I can help a lot of people, and I'm going to do that because at the end of the day, I'm here because of this incredible technology. So if you're looking for an opportunity, I have never come across anything bigger than what we have our hands on. This breakthrough has created an opportunity where we can share this with people in 33 markets. We can help you to do that. You're not by yourself when you do this. And we can help you to receive some thank you checks for doing so. So guys, in closing, just to reiterate that what we have here is nothing less than the single greatest health science, anti-aging and sports performance breakthrough of our lifetime. These breakthrough products, these redox signaling molecules are the body's weapon of choice. So if you want a weapon of choice for your body, you want to be replenishing your body with these redox signaling molecules because they're the things that cut to the chase and also make our food and nutrition work. There's no other supplements or skincare range on the planet that can do what these products do for the body because there's no other products on the planet that has redox signaling molecules in them. So if somebody comes to you and says this product's better or our product's better, I'm sorry, our products, these redox signaling molecules help to make yours work effectively and efficiently. They don't have these redox signaling molecules in their products. There's nobody that can copy these molecules. There's nobody who can recreate them. There are so many patents in place protecting the process of how to make them. So as far as a business, we're in a great place. This opportunity would be the most compelling opportunity that I have ever seen and that I'm sure that you'll ever come across. Vertus Norton, the owner and founder of this company with his son Tyler, they have left this as their legacy to the world. I'm leaving it as my legacy to the world, and we would love to help you guys to leave this as your legacy to the world also. Guys, hang on the call. I'm going to stop the recording and we'll do a Q&A. I thank you all very, very much for coming on, and we'll see you on the next call. I've just stopped the recording. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to bring the guys in from Bundaberg. There's a few people in the room in Bundaberg. So let me do that, and we'll do a live Q&A with them. But we'll also do it live with you guys through the chat box. I'm going to answer any questions that you may have. Let me just find these guys in Bundaberg, and we'll bring them in. Wow, a lot of people on this call. Thanks for coming on. Okay, we're just promoting them to panelists, and we'll have them coming on now. And I'll start answering questions. They should be on in a sec. Here we go. Oh, Tom and Irene, sorry. I'm looking for Tom and Mel. Let me do this again. All right, let's just try this again. See, if anyone's going to have a technical challenge, it's going to be me. Won't be a sec, guys, and we'll get into the chat box. Okay, here they are. All right, let's have a look at the chat box as well. Oh, here we go. Let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at that room. Hello, everybody.
Where did it go?
How you doing?
And
Welcome. Thanks for coming tonight. Thanks for being on the call.
thanks for doing it.
Thanks, Doyle. My pleasure. So we'll get some questions through the chat box, but I'll love to take live questions from the room as well before we get into the chat box.
Oh.
Anybody got any questions from this room?
No?
Surely.
You did a really good job, Dan.
Yeah, thanks. I'll start answering the questions in the chat box while you guys are thinking of any questions. There's a question, Dan. Do we have permission to share your story? Yes, of course, absolutely. You can share that anytime. Thank you for the info. I've enjoyed listening to you. Thanks, Robin, for coming on. You guys would have felt tingling in your hands. That's the signals of communication for your body to heal that clapping. So hopefully that resonated. That made sense. That this is how our body literally signals itself to heal itself. Looks like I've answered all questions. Does anybody have anything at all they want to ask? If you're going to ask a question about a specific issue, just to let you know, condition, disease, I always ask the question back: is there a cell involved? And that answers everything. So if there's a cell involved, more than likely these redox signaling molecules are going to help. They're definitely involved. So that pretty well answers the individual questions on any issues.
We have one question here, Dan.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know, this stuff sounds pretty incredible. If someone were to use it on a regular basis, would the body at all become reliant on it, or I'm not sure?
Yeah, very, very good question. So can I ask your age as an example?
Sorry?
How old are you?
19.
19. So you've still got, around about 80% production of these molecules left. So, I mean, for one, your body's breaking down every day. Your cells are breaking down. You've got that disease called aging, as we all do. So, 80% production isn't 100% production. So if you replenished your body, if you topped up your body with these molecules and you go back to 100% production and then you come off consuming these molecules, you'll just go back to 80% production. So replenishing your body with redox signaling molecules with ASEA doesn't affect your own production at all. And you'll just go back to healing and recovering like you did when you go off the product.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. So there's a few questions coming in. Let me answer some questions coming in. Danny, I often get asked if somebody only has 30% natural production rate left, does a SEER increase to 100%? So what we know is, I mean, my wife and I drink half a bottle a day. Now, we don't do that because we've got health challenges anymore. We do that because we want to heal, recover and repair like a 10-year-old. So if we're drinking half a bottle a day and we're 100% healthy, which is fantastic, I'm literally running around like a 10-year-old. You probably have noticed I've got a few beans in me, and I'm like a never-ready battery all day. So we can literally top up and heal and recover like we are children again. With the Renew 28, the dermatological tests indicate an increase of blood flow. Okay, it's saying can it help some particular type of dysfunction in the body, and it's a dysfunction that happens with males. So just in saying that, so you guys can think out of the box as far as being men, but this topical gel, the studies show within 28 days that wherever you apply this, wherever you apply it, there's an increase in blood flow to application of 50% within 15 minutes. So you guys can use your imagination. But that is incredible in itself when it comes to the healing process. There's been some incredible studies, and everything that ASEA does is third party. So third party laboratories they use. And on average, if you look at skin repair, wrinkles, elasticity, smoothness, the studies showed that people had a 20% improvement in those areas within 28 days. Roger, were you surprised when it responded so quickly? How you and the red spots were, yeah, a good thing. So with my detox, with my detox, the toxins were coming out of my body so fast they were coming out of my skin. I mean, normally we're detoxing when we go to the bathroom. So, I mean, one thing I could have been doing is drinking a lot more water, but, you know, there was so many things that were wrong in my body, including the residual from what I went through in that hospital. Everything was just coming out of my skin. It was coming out so fast. That doesn't normally happen like that, but it might happen to 5 or 10% of people. It didn't really affect me or annoy me. It was just part of the detox or healing process. Dan, how do you work? Oh, wow. So many questions coming in, guys. I'm not going to be able to keep. Just stick your hand up if you want to jump in. I'll take the live ones as well. Dan, how do you work out how much a SEER each person should, depending on what they're going through? So, Rob, if you talk to the person who introduced you onto this call, if anybody does, I mean, obviously what we have on the bottle is how to take this product for somebody who's healthy. If you've got a health challenge, there is a particular way to do a product plan for anybody to achieve whatever they're going through. So we want to make sure that we maximize their results. So if anybody has got a specific issue or they want to achieve something from taking this product, whether it be with their health, for sports performance or for the anti-aging, just make sure you talk to the person who introduced you and they'll take you through a product plan. What if someone has metal parts in them? So heavy metals, the molecules will not denature by, okay, so this person's talking about maybe fillings. If we look at that side first, I suppose I've got a mouthful of fillings from back in the day when we used to get the amalgams. And, you know, there's in 1 teardrop size amount of this liquid, there's over 1 trillion molecules. In 1 teardrop size amount of the gel, the Renew 28, there's over 2 trillion molecules. And in 1 teardrop size amount of the serum, there's over 4 trillion molecules. So as far as drinking this product and even swirling it around in your mouth because it's great for your gums and it gets into your body through water channels and sublingually, there's so many molecules that even hitting metal, because these molecules got a positive and negative charge, so we can't put it in a metal cup. So somebody was inquiring about, say, metal in their mouth. So many molecules, they're all not going to denature. There'll only be a handful of them denature. You'll still get the benefits of taking the product. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, session. Okay, so someone's interested in finding out how to build the business, and what did I do to do so? So I mean, you know, guys, for me, I wasn't looking for a business. I was looking for my health. But you know, if I go back 3.5 years ago, we came from being very successful in business to literally destitute. We were living in a van. It looked all fantastic on Facebook. We're traveling around Australia. We couldn't afford rent. It got to a stage in around February 2015 that we almost went to the Salvation Army for food stamps because we couldn't put food on the table. It was really desperate times. After 5 months of taking the product, and I can tell you now, this is something that every single person that I come across regrets, even if they start taking the product, that they don't start helping people or sharing this with people from day one. And I've got the same regrets because for me, I'm just wondering how many people I physically lost by not talking to people in that first 5 months. So that's the biggest regret people have, not sharing this from day one. So once I made a decision to start sharing this with people, obviously the first thing that I did, I ran to my family and friends. It's probably the worst thing you can do if you don't have the knowledge or experience of what to say, how to say it, what not to say, and basically have these scripts of how to talk to our family and friends. Because if you can imagine, and I'll give you an example, I ran back to an uncle of mine who my auntie was diagnosed with a very serious autoimmune issue, one that basically takes your life in about 27 months on average. So I ran to him and I told him about this product, what it had done to me in a very short period of time. And my uncle, my family, my friends only knew me as growing up, going to school, you know, being in traditional business. And all of a sudden I sound like this crazy scientist talking about the biggest breakthrough in health in our lifetime. They didn't believe what I was saying. That particular auntie's in a wheelchair and she's only got a few months to live now. It's a real sad story. But so if you're going to share this with your loved ones, with your family and friends, I suggest and recommend that you talk to somebody who has been there, done that, and there's experience in that room with Tom and Mel. There's a lot of people on this call. There's a lot of people on this call that you can go to help you and support you with what to say to these people. We get paid for helping people and for helping people to help people. This company has got an incredible ethos. Their principles and values surpasses anything that I've ever seen with any other company. As a matter of fact, anything that I've ever dealt with. They teach us to help people. When I went to that meeting in Salt Lake City, basically the first comment that was made in that meeting from the owner, Tyler Norton, was that he didn't want anybody involved in this business, in this purpose-filled mission that had ego and economics above principle and purpose. So guys, we do want people with the right intention to help us to get this to the world. And as long as you're there for the right reasons, you know, everything else is going to come. You know, Christmas is around and going to be around the corner. So so we can help you share this and we can help you share this in the right way. I continually today to share, even though my particular organisation has gone from me sharing this personally with about 100 people to nearly 20,000 people around the world. I could never do that or achieve that or leverage that within traditional business. But that's the power of it. There'll be people sitting in this room today that will have thousands of people under them that they have helped, or people that they don't know. That you would have reached people that you don't know. You would have helped people, changed lives, saved lives of people you don't know, just by making the decision to come on board and help us to get this to everybody that needs it. Any live questions at the moment?
Doesn't look like a Doyle.
Tom, yep.
No live question, no. Nobody else, Dan. It's all good, mate.
All good. So Yeah, someone was just talking about, is that the same as hip replacement and having any metal in around the hip or any joints or anything? Same thing. It's going right through the whole body. These molecules saturate the body and is actually inside and right through your body within a few minutes, even before it gets to your stomach. And it's not metabolized like food. These molecules are so stable, the acid in the stomach doesn't affect them, and they last for up to 3 hours. So I'm sure they're going to find something to deal with within 3 hours. Well, guys, I want to thank everybody for coming on this call. I think we've answered every question in the chat box. Viva Bundaberg, thanks for coming on. Welcome, and congratulations for at least taking the step to keeping an open mind, for being in that room tonight. I'm sure Tom and Mel will close up and just let you know how to get access to the product if you want to try it. We highly recommend you get on the product for 3 months on a proper product plan if you want your health heading in the right direction. And if you come on board over and above just using the product for yourselves, we welcome you, and we're going to hold your hand, and we're going to do everything we can to help you or help take you to wherever you want to go with this incredible opportunity. So thanks for coming on, guys, and we'll see you in the near future.
Thanks, Dan.